Hi everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Show Me How It's Done. I'm your host, Lauren Urbonis with Lauren's Scraplot. I am here in Canada, so if you don't have a demonstrator and you need a catalog or you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. My email and my website are listed on the bottom of the page here and in the comments. Now, if this is your first time joining us, I do a weekly video every Tuesday showing you how to make a fun technique or a card using Stampin' Up! Products. So this week I am going to continue the Christmas tradition and we're going to make a Christmas card using the Whimsy and Wonder Suite. So I have my catalog open here just to show you where I found it. So this is my holiday mini catalog, and on page 25 is where the goodies begin. So we have a stamp set and dies that are both part of this set, and we're going to use them both on the project today. There is also some gorgeous specialty paper that has silver accents, and you'll see us use those, as well as these iridescent snowflakes. I am going to pull in a few things like embossing folders and a die from one other set, but I will make sure to show you where those are from as we go. So to make the base of this project, let me show you what we're making. This is called a Pinwheel Tower Card. So you can see if you look down the center of it, it looks like a pinwheel and it's really tall, so it's a Pinwheel Tower Card. So the fun part about this is that each of these sides can be super unique. You can make them into anything you want. And I'm just going to show you how to make this card today. The basic measurements and stuff can be used for any sort of suite though. So if you have paper at home that you want to use up, go ahead and feature that on the card instead. Okay, so let's chat about this card. Okay, so to get this pinwheel in the center here, this is going to be your base. So you really don't see this color except to look down the center. So I've made it the same as two of the pinwheels on my card. So this is going to measure 4¼ by 4¼ in a nice little square. And then we're putting score marks 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that gives you 4 equal sections and 1 teeny tiny 1/4 inch. This is where you're going to put a little bit of adhesive, okay? So when you have all those score marks in place, grab your bone folder and fold all of these in towards themselves so that if you were to hold this up, it would make a nice little box for you, okay? You could look down the middle, there's a nice little square. That's exactly what you want to be seeing, okay? So when you're satisfied, instead of trying to line this up perfectly, let me show you a little trick. So I do not see any adhesive on this section right now, okay? Fold this over so that I see my adhesive section. Take off that little strip and fold the left-hand side piece over top. This will make sure that all your sections are lined up perfectly. You don't have to do anything else, okay? Here's your square. Now, lots of fun to be had. We're gonna grab some double-sided tape just so you can see what I'm doing, but feel free to use whatever sort of adhesive you want. Glue would be great, or some seal. We're going to put adhesive on all 4 of these sections. So it does not matter which order you do it in. Just do all 4 sides. And that's also why I'm using tape, so that I can do this all at once. And then you don't have to wait on me later on. Okay, so I like to just kind of make sure there's some on the left and the right. Turn it over. Just keep in mind you don't want any on these folding sections, right? On your score marks, don't put any adhesive there. Make sure it all fits within the little rectangle of space here. Okay. So I have adhesive all over this now, which is exactly what I want. I could fold this any sort of way I want, and I would have an adhesive covered side. So I'm going to prep a few materials now for me to use to assemble on my card. So I'm going to set this aside for the moment. Now, you can use any sort of color scheme that you want, okay? So my base papers, I went with Misty Moonlight, Blushing Bride, Misty Moonlight, Mint Macaron. You can do anything you want. They could be all the same. They can be all different. They all will be the same size though, okay? So whatever you decide to do for this, they're all going to be the same size. So you need 4 that are 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. All 4 the same. And then to layer on top of these, we're going to want some sort of pattern paper, or in the one case, I have a white sheet because I wanted a little space to write on. So I need 4 pieces of designer series paper or a white panel for your sections that all measure the same as well. So these guys are going to be 2.5 by 4 inches. And you need 4 of them, whatever pattern you'd like. These 4 we can now put on top of our cardstock here, just so that they're out of our way. So again, using any sort of flat adhesive that you'd like, you can just mount those. I'll show you the ones that I paired up, but of course your card can and should look different sometimes because you want it to be unique. Okay, so my white panel, I ended up putting on one of my Misty Moonlights. This ornament one here, that is on the other Misty Moonlight right here. This might seem an odd color combination, but as you can see, this is the color combo that they used, that Stampin' Up! Used in their paper. So it's really fun to just kind of mimic that. There we go. And last but not least, right. That one's very bright. You can see the silver shimmering at you. Okay, so now I have all 4 of my panels. It does not matter which one you want to start with. Okay, so let's just pretend that I'm going to start with one of my blue ones. So this guy, I'm going to take the adhesives off only one section. And if you're a little nervous about trying to line this up like so, you can always flatten it onto your table, but make sure you're only putting the edge of your card up to this score line. Okay, you don't want to go over because then it will be on the next section. Okay, so you can either hold your square in your hand and line up the left-hand side of your paper to the edge, or you can squish it and lay it down and line it up to the score line in the middle. Okay, totally up to you. So our left-hand side should be attached now to the base, and our right-hand side is loose. There's nothing attached to it. Okay, so if I hold it up like this, that's what you should be seeing. we're going to now move to the next panel. Okay, so I'm going to turn this. On my left-hand side, I should see this empty piece of blue, and I'm going to take off the adhesive from this left-hand section. So whatever pattern you want to come next now, so in my case, I'm going to want this one. This is going to be the next piece that I'm attaching. Once more, only going to the left-hand side of my card. Okay, so what you should see now is this empty blue from your other piece, your nice panel, and if you were to flip it over, you now have the mint macaron panel on the left and the left tape section that we're going to take off. Here's where our pattern continues. I went with another Misty Moonlight. So again, left-hand side of my card to this left-hand adhesive panel. Nice and slow. This would maybe be a good place to kind of stand this up and make sure, do I have my legs going in all different directions? If for some reason you don't, it's better to back up now than have to fix all 4 sections, okay? But I do. I have one going out to the side, one going to the bottom. Basically, kind of like a compass, I guessed. Okay, last section. I'm going to bend that over, take my adhesive off of this last piece, and put the last panel lined up to the left on my base. Okay, so when I open it up, once again, northeast, southwest, right? Northeast, southwest, we're good to go all the way around. Okay, so now let's decorate. Let's start here because that's fun. Okay, so this panel, I decided I wanted to use some of our silver foil and I wanted to make a Christmas tree. So I cut that out from using the dies and I'm just going to pop it up on dimensionals. You can see these large sections of the tree here. That's where I'm going to focus my dimensionals on. I don't really need them all over the tree. They don't need to be on the left-hand side here. I'm going to just zoom you guys in so that you can maybe see, you see a little bit better that way. Okay, there we go. So here's my little tree. I'm going to put him on the left, or sorry, on the right-hand side of my space, like so. It's beautiful. And I'm really sorry, I'm so bad at saying hello to you guys who are watching. So hi ladies, thank you for tuning in. And then from the paper, the Whimsy and Wonder paper, there's actually a whole entire sheet of adorable presents. They come in all different sizes. So all you need to do is just sit down with some scissors and cut them out. So that's what I've done. I've cut kind of one of the mediums and one of the smalls, and I'm going to add them to my project here. So I'm starting with the medium present. And that one is going to the left of the tree here. Okay. I'm going to kind of put that one almost in line with the base here. You can put it up a little bit more if you want to. It's totally up to you. Okay, so there's my one present. And then the second present, I actually only need one dimensional kind of by the trunk of the tree, just because I don't need it popped up. So you can cover part of the tree, you can cover part of the bow. It's up to you, however you want it to sit. Like so. There is our presents. And it's kind of fun to have them different colors. You'll notice there's all different patterns in the set. So make sure you get 2 presents that are in different color schemes for your card there, okay? So really, really simple, but so stunning because of the silver and the colored accents on there. So we're going to flip now to our next section. And this one is, I made it very simple because this snowflake is so stunning. It just speaks for itself. Okay, so I'm going to take one of our little frames, and I forget where this came from. I have to look. I will have, oh, no, here it is. Here you are. No, it's not that one. I'll have to look for you guys. I think it's from the seasonal labels stamp, but I will put that in the comments. Cut out one of these rectangles and put dimensionals on the back of it. I cut it out using mint macaron cardstock. And this goes right in the center of this space here. Okay. And now my large iridescent snowflake. The only place you're going to fit a dimensional is in this middle part. So that will get nicely popped up in the center of your card. And it just fits, okay? Just fits in that section. And you can see the glitter coming off of it as I move it. So it's just a stunning snowflake. You don't need to do anything else to it. Here's our next section that we're going to work on. And I've used that same die that I'm drawing a blank on, but I've embossed it with our Tasteful Textile folder. So there's the number if you need it. It's $11, and it's just such a subtle embossing folder that I thought it kind of added like a snowy look to what I'm doing. So that's why I'm using it. We're going to pop that up on dimensionals as well. And I'll put one in the middle too. Here we go. Right in the middle here. So now to decorate. So there are some adorable little trees in the Whimsy and Wonder die set. So what I've done is I've cut 2 of them with silver foil. They're kind of a larger tree. And then one of them out of the designer series paper. I just had some scraps. So we're going to start with our tall, skinny tree. That's going to be the first one we add to the card. I am simply putting one dimensional on the back of the tree, and it goes right in the center of my project, okay? Right in the middle of that rectangle. Now the 2 silver trees, they're not side by side, but they're just staggered a bit. So we'll do the one on the left first. They're both the same size, so it doesn't matter which one you use. So the one on the left, I've kind of popped up a little bit. And then the one on the right is just down teeny tiny bit, okay? So not a lot, but a little bit. Enough for, you know, to look a little different. Now the fun comes. So we're going to take a strip of mint macaron. This is just a teeny tiny little scrap, okay? So I ended up cutting it so that it was about, I think 3 inches, yeah, 3 inches long, but we are going to snip it so that it fits in this space. Okay, so I'm going to start by snipping one side just at an angle so that I've made kind of a nice angle portion. And before I stick this in, I'm going to put some adhesive just here. That's where I want my strip to sit. So I've kind of just made one of my trees stick down. So the fun thing about this one die is it's got these open edges. So you can stick this little guy all the way through, like so, and nestle it in where you'd like it to sit. like so. And now we can cut this opposite end just at an angle as well. Okay, so it's very simple. It's just something fun. The paper is going to hold these other two trees in place. Now for my joy sentiment, the stamp is from the Whimsy and Wonder set, but the circle, the stitched circle here, is actually from the Picture This die set. There's circles and there's rectangles intended for you to make kind of peekaboo cards with. But when you're done all those peekaboo cards, you end up with tons of leftover stitched circles. So I used them for this card. So I just stamped Joy with mint macaron, and I'm gonna use a dimensional right in the middle here to set this on top of. Okay, goes right in the middle of my space, little Joy. Okay, we're almost done, but we have one last section to worry about. You can either leave this blank, or you can take some of your scraps, like I did, and you can decorate the inside. So this piece is 1 inch wide by 4 inches long. And a silver piece here is going to be 1/4 inch wide, and it will end up being 4 inches. We're going to trim it a little bit here, but I like to cut my foil long just in case I've made a mistake somewhere. Okay, so let's attach those two. I just wanted to decorate my little panel, and I figured all I was going to say is, you know, Merry Christmas to so-and-so from me. So my 1 inch piece is just going on the left-hand side of this white space. And it looks great, but the silver kind of ties it all together in my mind. So I'm going to use that. And like I mentioned, it's a little long because I like to just trim at the end. So I put my silver here, and then just at the very end, I'll trim the top off. Okay, so there's the majority of our card, but you're probably thinking, hey, what about this space? It's kind of boring. So here's where we're just going to cut ourselves 4 pieces of white cardstock. They're all measuring 1.5 inches by 4. And I decided to emboss mine. So I used the Wintry embossing folder right here. It is a set of 2. So one has snowflakes and I think one has branches, like evergreen branches and stuff, but it's a great set for you to use. I just embossed them, and we're going to add these 4 panels to decorate the sides of our card. You don't have to do it, but it's kind of fun. I just think it kind of ties your card together in the end. Ooh, runaway tape. And I chose white just because it doesn't conflict with any of the colors I've used already, and I thought I had put in quite a bit of color, so I didn't really want anything to clash. But there are some really subtle patterns in the designer series paper, so if you chose one of those, that would be beautiful as well. Then you don't need to have the embossing folder. Okay, so our little side panels, they'll all just fit nice and snug in this space. Like so. There you go. So there is our Whimsy and Wonder pinwheel card. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a very, very stunning card. And then somebody can just put it up on their desk. But as you saw, it does fold flat, so it fits in a regular envelope as well. And then just for a bonus idea, I've also made one of these cards using the Painted Christmas suite. So I've used the exact same measurements, but here's the Wintry branches. So this is the second embossing folder in the Wintry 3D set. And I've just done a little sentiment, some of the pine cones. I used a little tag to write on this time instead from the Tasteful tags. Or this is from the seasonal labels, one of those. And then the size down for the backings here. So there's one other idea for you. I'm not going to do that one start to finish because the assembly is very similar, just using different pieces from another suite. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I do hope that you give it a try. If you make a pinwheel card and you want to share it, please make sure to post your pictures in the comments or even just message them to me. I'd love to see what you're working on. Thank you so much for those of you who do send me pictures of your creations. It's really fun to see what you're doing. Before I let you guys go though, I do want to mention, if you're in Canada, look at the new catalogs. So these were my demonstrator copy from Stamping Up. That's one of the perks of being a demonstrator, is we get a copy mailed to us in advance. So these catalogs start January 4th. I'm not allowed to show you what's inside the catalog page until that date. However, I have some items coming in a pre-order, and hopefully I'll be able to do some unboxing videos and show you. But what I wanted to mention was, if you're in Canada and you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to send you a set of these catalogs. I will order them to myself at the beginning of December and mail them out, so you'll get them at the end of the month and hopefully before this arrives. So message me your address if you're in Canada, if you need a copy. If you're in Edmonton, you can pick up mid-December, so you get them a little earlier too. But I will see you guys later. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye.